I never thought I'd be the kind of man who begged his wife not to do something. I always believed in trust and giving space and not acting insecure. But the night she went to that party against my wishes was the night everything we built quietly began to fall apart. My name is Daniel. I'm 38 years old, and until recently, I thought my marriage was solid. Not perfect, but solid. My wife Rachel and I had been together for 9 years, married for 6. We had routines, inside jokes, shared responsibilities. From the outside, we looked like a normal, stable couple, and maybe that's why I ignored the small cracks when they first appeared. The party was hosted by one of her coworkers, a late-night thing, drinks, music, people I barely knew. When she told me about it, something in my gut off. I couldn't explain it. It wasn't jealousy, not really. It was more like a quiet warning I couldn't shake. I don't think it's a good idea, I told her casually, trying not to sound controlling. It's going to be late and you barely know these people. She laughed and brushed it off. You're overthinking it. It's just a party. I didn't argue. I never did. But later that night when she started getting ready, I tried again. I told her I wasn't comfortable. I told her I had a bad. I even admitted quietly that I needed reassurance. She sighed like I was being dramatic. You don't trust me? She asked. That question stopped me cold because no matter how uneasy, I didn't want to be that guy, the insecure husband, the one who limits his wife's freedom. So, I swallowed it and said the words that would haunt me later. Fine, go. She smiled, my cheek, and walked out the door like nothing was wrong. I stood there in the living room, listening to the sound of her heels fade down the hallway, telling myself I was doing the right thing. The first few hours were quiet. I watched TV, scrolled my phone, tried to distract myself. Around midnight, I texted her just to check in. No reply. I told myself she was busy. Around 1 o'clock, I texted again. Still nothing. That's when the unease turned into something heavier. At 2 o'clock in the morning, she finally responded. Still here, having fun. Something about those words distant, like they were written out of obligation, not care. I didn't reply. I went to bed instead, staring at the ceiling, wondering why I'd already lost something I couldn't name. She came home just before sunrise. I heard the door open, heard her laugh softly, like she didn't want to wake me. I stayed still, pretending to sleep. She smelled like alcohol and perfume that wasn't hers. She slipped into bed carefully, her back turned to me. I didn't confront her that morning or the next day. I told myself it was nothing, that I was imagining things, that trust meant giving the benefit of the doubt. But after that night, she changed. She guarded her phone like it held state secrets. She smiled at messages she wouldn't explain. She stayed late at work more often. When I asked how her day was, her answers became shorter, more vague, and every time I brought up the party, she dismissed it like it was irrelevant. "Why are you still stuck on that?" she said once. Nothing happened. I wanted to believe her. God, I really did. But belief only works when it's met. And she wasn't meeting me anywhere. A week later, I ran into one of her coworkers at the grocery store, a guy I vaguely recognized from a photo she once showed me. We exchanged small talk. Then, almost casually, he said, "That party last weekend was wild." I froze. Before I could stop myself, I asked what he meant. He hesitated, then shrugged. Just a lot of drinking. Rachel seemed really close with someone. I didn't hear the rest of what he said. My ears were ringing. My tight. I went home and sat in my car for nearly half an hour, staring at the steering wheel, replaying every moment, every warning I had ignored. That night, I finally asked her directly, "Did you cheat on me?" She laughed. Not nervously, not defensively. She laughed like the question itself was ridiculous. "You're being paranoid," she said. "You told me to go, remember?" That's when I realized something that hurt more than any confession could have. In her mind, my silence had become permission. My trust had become weakness. My restraint had been rewritten as approval. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't accuse her again. I just looked at her. and something inside me quietly shut down. Because the truth was, whether she admitted it or not, something had already crossed the line. And once respect is gone, love doesn't survive very long. That was the moment everything started falling apart. Not loudly, not all at once, but slowly, silently, in ways that couldn't be,